Okay. I would like to call the North Whidbey Park and Recreation District regular board meeting in order on Thursday, 28th of April at 18:35. All the commissioners are present. What? Let me finish. What? No. Go.
No, you were saying all of them are present. We aren't.
Except.
Okay. So they're not.
I know I started wrong.
Gotcha.
But,
No, it's good. It's good. Sorry.
But Commissioner Hoffmeyer is excused. Commissioner Holly, Fort, and Singleton are all present. Is there any agenda changes?
No. The ones that I can read them, but the ones that I had sent via email.
Okay.
Week.
Well, I already had that sent out for this here.
It actually wasn't, but I mean, no, it wasn't.
What was that?
Well, it was for her because you didn't copy her on it, and 20 minutes later, she sent hers out.
I know, and I followed the process, which was reply back, and I did that.
And I said by 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. is when I said the minutes.
If that's going to be the case, then please give us a little more notice, because I don't know about everyone else, but I don't check my email every day, and I don't work here. Okay. Then yes, I have agenda changes.
Okay.
They are, as per the message that I sent to the board and the executive director, they are the unfinished business from the previous month. So they are Clover Valley Dog Park, and I put priority list on there. I believe I put that in my email. They are the 2016 goals. They are the Booster Club partner agreement. Mission and vision. I realize he's writing it down, Sue, so I was.
I'm not very quick.
No, I realized I was talking fast, so I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. Can I have this over here?
Yes.
At least leave it open so I can just look at it when we get to that.
Okay.
That's all I ask.
You can have that because that's the agenda I brought, so.
And action items which we had determined would. Oh, it's down here now. Never mind. Sorry, I didn't see it. Got it. So that one doesn't need to go on.
Okay.
Yep.
We all have times. Same with me. I don't have time to check emails all the time.
Well, obviously you didn't check this one because you would have read it. She did send out an email.
I realize that, but I work during the daytime. I cannot check email at work with this here, and we will discuss the agendas later.
Do we want to
that?
move
First
the
of all-
staff reports also? Because we talked about doing that. So should we,
Staff reports are going to talk about.
where are we going to move staff, where were we going to move them to?
Why?
Just talk about them first. If we do that tonight, then maybe we'll start doing it that way all the time.
Why?
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
I can't remember why.
I was going to bring it up in board issues, so that's
okay.
what I had originally.
Never mind.
And speaking of board issues, because there is no public, so public comments are open and closed.
Obviously, they're happy with what we're doing.
Let's hope so. Sometimes we're not happy with what we're doing. No, I'm please believe me, I'm joking. Commissioner Singleton, please.
So the two things that I was going to bring up were just, so we had talked about the staff reports, and it seemed unresolved, at least. So we were going to move it forward because they're doing these reports for us every month, and it just seems like when we leave them to the end, we rush through them. There was some sentiment, if a majority of the board does not want to move them, then we say they stay where they are and we're done. If we want to move them, I kind of like Commissioner Hawley's suggestion that we try it, and maybe we think it's terrible. But that was I think the original impetus was they put a lot of work into these, and we usually get to the end and go, okay, all right, let's go. and that maybe we're not giving them our attention, and maybe that's not a fair assessment.
I usually speak up pretty much to report. So I'm not sure that it's gonna change what I do.
Okay, all right. And then the other one was, just my suggestion was committee reports, that we put all the committees on there all the time, and just, it's just that way, we used to have a habit of forgetting things that existed, because it was like, well, it wasn't on the agenda, and it's like, if they're there, any standing committees, no report.
No, that's a very good idea.
That's all.
That's a very good idea.
Okay, that was it.
Okay. Commissioner Ford. Any comments?
Not this time.
I have no issues.
Okay. Right now, I don't have any.
We didn't put I noticed none of the stuff is in here for the reports that we just got done talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the staff reports?
Yeah, usually they're in here if that's okay.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Meetings. You didn't get a copy?
Was it a separate?
I did not get a copy.
I don't.
Let me make sure this isn't the one that I brought, but.
I don't have them either.
It's probably the one you brought.
Oh, this is the one I brought. Never mind.
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
good, you're smart. I remember reading them, I can't. I'd recommend we certainly get a copy of the staff reports.
I know a lot of times we do get a chance to read it before, and we did get a chance to read it before, but yeah, if we still could have it here either way, I know I would appreciate it.
It's hard to remember the whole, it's hard to remember the whole.
It is, because there was a lot of good information
Right.
there.
I'm gonna try to find that out where they are.
Okay. Yeah. Finished with board issues, so let's move on to approval of minutes from March 24th, 2016. Is there any changes to the minutes?
I haven't read these. Were they sent to us? Because I missed that, I guess.
I had forgotten to send the final copy, and they were sent last night.
So
Okay.
let's hold off until next month.
Sure.
Everybody agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, kind of point of order there, can we still review if they are unapproved, can we still review the action items, or do we need to wait?
No,
No.
Just-
Yeah.
Want to be sure?
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
I'm sure I will have no comment, but I don't want to
No,
just
I
rubber
appreciate
stamp
that.
it.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
no, because them action items are still items we gotta handle, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Okay, voucher review.
I move that we approve vouchers number 7050 through 7080 for the amount of $22,854.90, as well as a payroll transfer from the M&O account to payroll account of $42,342.25.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the reports? Commissioner Fort, please.
Visa cards. Why are there finance charges on the Visa cards?
Yeah.
Told there were no fee.
We answered this last month.
You did? I don't remember it.
No, this question didn't come up. I
Question-
think
question
they
came
were
up
paid
well.
late is my guess.
If there's a finance charge, it's based on when county pays, because county pays, we send it to them, it's a week later before county pays.
So it's a late fee?
It would, yes.
Well,
That's my guess.
Is there any way we can correct that so we don't pay late fees?
We can try.
Okay.
I'll find the answer on my.
Because we don't usually have these, and so we just need to figure out what happened this time. In my,
Yeah.
We did once or twice last year, but we questioned it.
yes, and it came up because blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But in this case, it was like, it got paid late, and
And I have one other question about the Visa card. Actually, it's a comment, 'cause I brought this up before about how, you know, what can we use our points for? So I actually went online and looked up what we could use our points for. And apparently we can use the points to get our employee gift cards that we give our award to our employee of the month. So can we look into using some of the points
Yeah,
for
they're,
that?
they're looking into all sorts of things that they can do. There's like equipment that they can get and stuff. So, yeah, all of them are looking into what they
Okay,
can.
yeah, let's start drawing that down. Okay,
I need to draw down Erica's anyway, for sure.
yeah. All right, that's all I had for comments.
Mr. Hall?
I had a,
Oh,
I'm sorry, we'll get through this. I have her password, I can get the staff reports.
on the, whose card, Julie's card, there's something, it was $20.86. It says swimsuit sizing kit return.
Yes,
But it's something that we paid. So I didn't understand why we paid almost $21 to return something. I don't understand.
so for the swim, well, actually, it was not just all for the swim team. There were sizing kits brought in for these newer technology suits, a lot of it for the swim team, but for anyone. And they had to be, those that weren't covered or that weren't purchased from it were returned.
And it costs us money for the postage or
To send
whatever.
them back, yes. Since then, the subsequent packages, now that is covered by the people that purchase them. They're not, it doesn't come out of us in January.
Sorry, what were the suits for? I'm sorry if I missed something there.
It's a sizing kit.
Size-
Right, no, I understand that, but for suits for
swimmers.
who? For swimmers
Well,
that are employees here?
For anyone on the staff that wanted to get one, or the swim team, yes.
But these are basically the swim team, correct? NWAC?
For the most part, I would admit that's where the most of the purchase came from, yes.
Okay, but we're not doing that anymore.
We're not paying for postage to return anymore, no.
They were paying for did we pay for the sizing
No,
thing or they
no.
paid?
The sizing kits go back, except those that are purchased, and the swimmers purchase them directly.
Okay.
I have a question.
Just like, Mr. Hall, you think?
Oh, I'm finished, thank you.
Please.
Yep. My only one, we seem to have a fair number, and maybe they're unrelated, but of refunds. Do we know why? Is it something that we can fix, or is it just they were all just unrelated and happened?
They're just unrelated. Someone isn't happy, or they pull out and come in and go, this isn't working, like the first night of a swim class, or the $150 one was a party that they canceled with plenty of notice to, but they pay up front, so they
Gotcha.
get paid back.
Okay.
They're not related, and then there's you know, other than sometimes people aren't happy with a swim lesson or something like that.
Gotcha. Thanks. That was it.
Okay. No other questions on voucher review? Okay, I have a motion and I have a seconded to approve the expense vouchers for, I just closed it. I just closed it.
Yeah.
For $42,342.25. All in favor, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As a matter of fact, that's it right there too.
Could you name both of them? Okay. Did you name both the expense vouchers? Seems like you just said 42,342. I don't know if you said the 22.
She did.
He did? Okay.
She did.
She did, okay.
The motion was made for both.
Okay, right.
I said,
Right, gotcha. Sorry.
so do we need to revote? or-
No, no.
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
Thanks for catching that.
Mr.
though.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
can we pause for about 2 minutes? I have a password. I can go try to print off the staff reports.
Okay,
And
thanks.
she's not sure why it didn't come out in the package, but
Okay,
if I can do that.
please.
Is everybody ready to take a break for 2 minutes?
Sure, thank you.
2 minutes.
Do you want to print them or do you want to copy them?
Well, that'd
Although
probably
I-
be easier than trying to,
Although I've scribbled on them, but, you know.
no one will know what you.
Okay, we are back in session. Okay, the next thing is the levy committee. The levy committee did not meet, but what I would like to sit there and do is Commissioner Ford and Commissioner Hawley next week, if both of you are free on Tuesday. What day was good, you said?
Tuesday wouldn't be a good day for me.
There was 3 days.
Okay.
Thursday and Friday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Other than-
Friday's shaking out to be kind of the best here, but I can still make Wednesday.
Friday would be the best?
For me, but I can make Wednesday work.
Okay. Friday or Wednesday would be best for me, not Tuesday.
Wednesday and Friday are fine for me.
Okay.
And then
So-
time for
Anytime for me.
Anytime for me.
your choice on time?
Well, if we went Friday, I would say about 3 o'clock or so.
Okay.
Does that work?
That'd be better for me. I can't get my swimming in, I think, next, no, let's see.
Well,
next
you
week.
know what?
It's closed next week.
You finish swimming around 2:30. We
Yeah.
can just do 2:30. whenever
Is
you-
it-
Are we gonna do it here or at the,
Here.
here? Oh, okay,
Is
yeah.
Yeah.
is the pool closed on Friday?
No?
Well, I don't know, I can't remember.
No, it
No.
should be, it's open.
Okay,
And
so
Next Friday,
I would,
tomorrow.
no, 1500, 3 o'clock, because that way we
That 3
finish swimming at
o'clock's best for
2:30.
me.
I need half an hour to,
Sure.
to shower, so
And
1500.
I take a while to shower, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I will send out an invite for that.
Levy committee, got it.
And the one reason why I asked for both of y'all to be there rather than me be there, especially you, is the fact is we're going to, one of the things I would like to be discussed on there is who are we going to call in as far as the public?
Okay.
And I'm leaning more toward people that are involved with the pool, with the parks in some way. I know you are not, but I'm just,
Well, I'd like to have an independent. I'd like to have somebody who's just a levy payer and not a pool participant and get their perspective on
and I hear
why
that.
they don't want to pay for the levy, blah, blah, blah.
And that's why I would like for you to be there rather than me,
Okay.
in all honesty.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're not coming? Because we could still have the levy committee meeting with 3 of
We
us.
just gotta publish it,
We just,
correct?
all we have to do is publish it and say we're
No,
meeting.
this is a levy committee. This isn't a regular.
I know, but if 3 of us are meeting, we do have to publicize it.
Yes.
Because we actually, because 3 of us means we have a quorum.
You know, but,
Oh, yeah, all we have to do is
Okay.
put out a thing that we're meeting.
Okay, 3 o'clock Friday.
Okay.
Why don't, Mr. Chair,
I'm listening, please.
if you could clarify, I think it's more than just posting a public notice. If there's no business to be discussed, it's just a public notice. I just want to be sure that we do this correctly. So if there's business to be discussed, then you also have to have
The agenda.
space. Well, yes, the agenda. I would think the agenda, but also space for public, should anyone desire to attend. I think. Well, let's put it this way. That's at least the best practice.
Well, the levy,
Oh, yeah.
any committee is a public, it can be there anyway.
But we usually are only, if there's less than 3 of us, we don't publicize it. Not that we're trying to keep people out, but it's, I don't think we're gonna make like any drastic decisions. We're just trying to figure the way ahead.
Right, but I'm just
We'll
in terms
clarify.
of compliance.
We'll clarify with that.
But aren't we meeting here? Where were we gonna, like, yeah, so we're gonna meet here anyway, so there's
Yeah.
room.
Okay. Action items.
Oh, and for the program committee, we
Oh.
didn't meet, so we have nothing. And I think those are the only 2 committees, correct?
The other one was the bylaws, which
bylaws.
we're gonna be talking
they'll
under the,
be the only 2 active committees once the bylaws or whatever happens with the bylaws.
and that one we're discussing tonight.
Okay.
And yeah, as far as I know, that is it as far as committees unless, okay.
Yeah.
Those are the only, that would be the only 2
Yeah.
active ones after tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Action items,
Okay.
if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe everything from our January meeting, my intention was to compile these into a separate list, but some of them are contextual, and so I need a little more time to be able to do that because they became unmeaningful very quickly. Let's see, now we're on to February, that is closed. Clover Valley Dog Park, Kaz to follow up regarding handicap parking sign.
Well, now, we have a broad, in the, I don't know if you saw it in the staff note for my section, but we have a broader, I don't know.
We
Yours
didn't-
isn't in there for
Yeah,
some
we
reason.
didn't get that one, but that's, yeah, but,
But she probably didn't.
So it'll be part of the whole thing that we're doing when we get the levy money is some of the other signage that we can put up. It's in the staff report, but basically it's around put up a sign that, look in the cost, first off, we're looking at the cost of a cattle gate to go across where the cable is right now. And that will not deter anyone who really wants to get down there and do something from doing it, but it'll make it harder, it'll stop some people. Then a sign will go up saying that the area is under video surveillance, and this is the recommendation of the sheriff's department.
Awesome.
Who says that whether there's a camera there or not, that deters people. And so we'll put that up, and then we can put a handicap sign on those 2 spots, parking spots that are right next to the entrance to the gate there. And then we can also, although it's only as enforceable as we want to make it, we can put a sign near the road that says the hours are, the park is closed from sunset to sunrise.
Here's my question, do we really want to do that? Because we talked about that.
Some
If
of
we
the-
say
yeah,
the
some of
sun
the
is
users-
set,
Just start,
that's
please.
4 o'clock during the winter, and people who work, I assume people go in there in the dark with their dog, maybe they don't. And
can we pull it back to really the only, sorry, maybe there's a better place for this discussion, because it was really just the handicap parking sign.
Oh.
That's all it was.
Okay, when we get money.
So,
When we get money,
and so I'm gonna continue to consider that working
continue
process.
until it's up, yes.
Right,
I'm sorry.
thank you. No, it's okay. It was comprehensive. I just didn't want to see us veer too far off.
Very good.
Let's see, the next one that I have that's still open is just the options for closing the park at night, which you brought up, and we've just somewhat covered. Let's see, the board materials for the Holland Happening booth. I don't know if anyone, are there any to be sent?
Well, did you get one from Julie, since you're going, and you and Shane are the only 2 going?
Yeah, there was an email that was sent. I ain't got a chance
Okay.
to look at it yet.
All right, okay, super, so that's closed. Let's see, we're gonna, this is a topic of the partner agreement, so I'll just,
That meeting was canceled this month because she had a different, you're talking about with the Booster Club?
correct.
Yeah, that was canceled this month because she had an emergent conflict.
Edie Kaz to send levy readout for past 3 years to board.
I did that.
Okay, I thought so, but I couldn't, I honestly, yeah. Let's see. Edie Kaz to review previous audit to ensure items are compliant. That was WIP last month.
That's in work,
Okay,
so it's still active.
all right, and then I will go through, so that is it for February. I will go through the March ones real quick here. I will skip that one for now because that is not. ED Kaz to find out whether individuals pay for Red Cross certification in addition to facility paying $300 annually.
We paid $300 annually. I'm sure it's in the staff report, mine's in there. But anyway, we paid $300 annually so that we can use the Red Cross material and the Red Cross moniker. But everyone that comes through a lifeguard or first aid course pays for the cost of that certification. It's built into the cost, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. For bylaws review for discussion, okay, did that. Just meaning that we have that on the agenda it was for the bylaws, so that's upcoming. Levy committee, ED Kaz will publish requests for 2 public members of committee after discussion by levy committee. I believe that has not happened yet, so it is still WIP or
For the levy,
correct.
I thought, wasn't it in the paper in that article? I thought it was, the one that came out after the last meeting, I thought that it was mentioned that we wanted members of the public.
Yeah, well,
It was mentioned in the paper, but as far as us going out
Oh,
and advertising for it, no, we have not.
And I think we should wait until our meeting and figure out what we want to do. And leave this
Exactly.
open as an action item until that's done, yes.
Okay. Committee will set up meeting with county in April timeframe. We're gonna call that May.
That's gonna be, moved to May, obviously.
That's like, I feel comfortable with that one. Let's see, EDCAS, research the most cost-effective way to remove, I don't know why this is in here again. Did I do something? Illegally dumped items, that's already been discussed.
Yeah, and it's addressed in the staff report under the fact that we did, just after calling the county landfill to find out, what we can do, we found out we actually have an account there that hasn't been used in 5 years, so it's still active, and now Matt knows the number to use, and so he doesn't have to worry about going and using the credit card to get cash, because you can't use credit card there, and so we should be good now, get stuff out of there.
Yes, and I realized I had just repeated these as part of the status, so apologize, it's a bit redundant, but I guess that's better than not at all. Goals, Commissioner Hawley to discuss changes to goals, document, and distribute.
sorry, I didn't
Open, so.
open.
Open,
I'll do that
okay.
next time.
Let's see, P&L review, there were some questions for you, I think.
Those are all answered, those are all answered in via email or in the staff report.
He did answer those,
Okay,
at least mine.
okay. I don't necessarily agree, but some of them were mine, so I can come back to those later. Let's see, EDCAS to obtain from Fidalgo Pool their agreement with TAC Booster Club.
They don't have an agreement, they're booster club, they don't have an agreement.
Let's see, board requests EDCAS to add county accounts to ED staff reports if county report is incomplete.
And they're all in there now, so that won't be, I'll do that next year if it becomes an issue again.
Thank you.
So I am not going to ask you about this every month in anticipation for 2017. I will leave that. Let's see. EDCAS to ensure process in place for special needs private lessons cost relief.
Yes.
You did mention that in your report. Some of these I retain better than others. Executive Director, to research proposed new evaluation form. This is all upcoming.
Right.
Yeah, these are all upcoming, so we will, and that includes one from me to send the negotiation items, just point of information.
They're in there.
Yes, I know, I saw that, and I was just gonna mention, I asked him for them because Commissioner Merrill actually had them. And I figured this was probably an easier path, just meaning, in terms of, he knows what he had asked for. So I'm gonna call that closed. EDCAS to look into options for private audit as an alternative to state audit. Saw that that is.
Well, actually, I have a further
Oh.
answer to it, so we can
Okay.
close it out.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
The state by law does your accountability audit. If your revenue is $2 million or greater, then you do a financial accountability audit. But we're not there, but then the financial accountability audit is the only one that they'll let a third party
No.
group do. So, in that discussion with Team Bellingham that covers us, we are now set up for the audit 1st of December
Of this year?
of this year, and we won't get billed for it until January. So it'll be in next year's budget,
Oh,
because we didn't have it in for this year's budget, and she said that would work for them. So,
any idea how much that'll cost?
a few dollars short of 9,000.
Yeah.
That might come down a little bit depending on how much travel. She said they may not have to travel every day. But that would be the most it would be just right shy of 9,000. I don't have the exact number, but it's like 89 or something.
That was all.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the one thing I would ask, if there was an easier way we could put this together for, to go on the agenda and stuff, so it's easier to read and stuff like that, for the action items.
If someone either wants to donate their time to do that, or if they have a suggestion for how it would be more efficient and not cost me any more time, sure.
Come on, we all got plenty of time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm open to
Yeah,
suggestions.
and believe me,
Yeah.
I know you're busy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend any more time, but,
Well, I think, I like it. I like going over it and review it.
No, I'm not saying not go over, I'm just saying if there's an easier way we could put it in,
Oh.
to go over the, the action items, in the minutes and stuff, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
and all I'm doing is referring back to my previous packets,
Right.
which I make notes on them,
Yeah,
and so I
appreciate
assume other
keeping
people do
track of
that.
'cause
Oh,
I agree.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go into unfinished business. Bylaws revision adoption.
So, did the other members have a chance to review it? The people who weren't on our bylaws committee? Any comments? Changes, discussion?
The two changes in there, if I remember correctly, I'm not going to, but was the $30,000
Yeah.
executive director title
Correct.
was changed,
That's it.
and I believe that was it, correct?
Correct.
They were published for a month out there, and no comments were received or suggestions or anything
From the public.
from the public, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure, I know because we said, it says 30,000 is what the executive director can spend, or 50,000 in emergency. We might as well just say 50,000 as it's always been, because he's not gonna spend $50,000 with, I just don't think he's gonna get a wild hair and spend $50,000 without telling us.
And you can't spend more than we actually have in our
That's
three
correct.
budgets, right?
That's correct.
We can't
So, and
go
it's-
into a deficit, so.
Short of going out and getting a loan, but that's.
It's been 50,000, I think, forever. I don't know how long back that went.
Since 2001 was the last time I saw, and then between 94 and 2001, I have no bylaws. There are no that I
Okay.
can find.
I don't have any problem with 50.
Stop, could I make one suggestion that I probably should have did? Can you make a motion?
Oh, okay.
To sit there and change that to 50,000?
I don't think, I forgot we were gonna talk about it, sorry, so I didn't bring it. Can I make a
There's one in front of you. You should have a copy.
Oh, right
Oh,
there.
did you give it to me?
Yeah, you
Oh.
have a copy.
Okay.
It's right here.
That's-
All right, I would like to amend the amended bylaws to Article 4, Duties of the Executive Director, Paragraph L, to read, "The Executive Director shall, by insurance bond, be authorized to expense up to $50,000 without board resolution or signatures."
Is there a second?
In case of emergency or just,
I was not gonna put in case of emergency, I was just gonna,
Oh,
because,
so you're deleting, you're
Yeah.
changing this and deleting this?
yes,
Okay.
to return it to the way that it
Basically, would go
was.
back to the way it was.
So $50,000,
And not
Is
saying,
what you
because
can
we don't
expend.
define emergency either in
If we
it.
need a motion.
we need a second.
so we can discuss it in a second.
Okay, the motion is made to change Article 4, Section 4.2 L to the executive director shall, by insurance bond, be authorized to expense up to $50,000 without board resolution or signatures, period. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's been approved, the motion's been made, it's been seconded, discussion. Commissioner Shingles, you guys have?
Shouldn't the motion actually be to adopt the amended bylaws, or adopt the committee's recommendation for the bylaws with an amendment to?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, no. I move that we adopt the bylaws committee amendments with the exception that we remove and up to 50K in case of emergency and change the.
Real quick, for
That's right, sorry, I can't make the amendment.
For legal purposes, would you withdraw your motion and your second?
I withdraw my original motion.
Second.
Okay,
Okay.
now would you please read it? And thank you very much, please.
Okay, I move that we accept the bylaws committee's modifications to the bylaws with the exception of Article 4, Section 4.2, Paragraph L, to read, "The executive director shall, by insurance bond, be authorized to expense up to 50K without board resolution or signatures."
Second. Richard?
Okay, I second. I was hoping she'd second so I could make a comment.
You still make a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, you can second,
Okay.
and you still don't even have to agree to it. Just 'cause
And
you
the
second
motion's
it.
been made and it's been seconded, and Commissioner Fort, please.
Yeah, so why would you ever withdraw that amount of money without an emergency?
No, I've not withdrawn anything from the reserve or committed any money that you guys haven't known about that I was doing, so no.
So
I would, what that does is it gives me the ability to move fast for either
and
safety.
you determine what's emergency, and obviously it's an emergency to make payroll.
One can say that, yes.
So, I mean, I would just think, I don't know, it's sort of kind of a blanket statement. We're really talking about an emergency or urgency at least.
Well, I will tell you when it came up. Last year, or 2 years ago, when Gino was the executive director and he signed a contract for the new swim coach without board approval that expensed for the district $58,000.
So did you like that?
No.
Okay, well then,
But that was over the 50, that was my point, was it's over the $50,000. And it was also
would
had
you like
been.
it was just 50,000?
I want the executive director to be able to, he's supposed to be able to do the hiring and firing.
But he's
other
supposed
than-
to keep us informed about why he's doing certain
Yes.
things, and
And
so.
so that, that was an issue. But
Wait, so,
Go.
okay, but
Go
see,
ahead.
understand, I mean, like, he said something,
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah,
misread it,
go
and
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
I just
go
had
ahead.
to. I understand, but I guess I'm not sure, what you just showed was actually a point where the process didn't work.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure
Yeah, that was-
that's really the shining
that was a
example.
case that was not an emergency.
Right.
And we don't define emergency in here, so that's why I kind of think,
But the
Such a-
policy was violated.
yes, as a matter of
Okay.
fact.
And you
it
weren't
was.
happy with it.
No.
So maybe if we had changed the wording in there, he couldn't have done it because it wasn't an emergency, so we should put that emergency in there, is what I'm saying.
But the thing is you've got, the way it's worded is you guys can spend $30,000. And then if there's an emergency, you can spend
Well, he
up to
did.
50. I'm just saying, you can spend up to 50.
But he
So,
He interpreted it as he could spend that money on anything he
I
wanted.
didn't
to.
say he did not. I just said the way it's worded, he can do that right now without telling anybody.
Unless
Yeah.
we put a proviso in there.
But the proviso doesn't, unless you define an emergency, the proviso doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was an emergency. By my definition, it was an emergency. And I'm,
What is an emergency, exactly?
Right. I just don't, it doesn't, I don't think that part buys us anything.
I think we just need to decide
Well,
30 versus 50.
Well, then I would say he should, whenever he has to withdraw, he needs to let the board know.
Well, it's not even a matter of withdrawing, because he can write it, once we get the levy money, he can write a check for,
I know,
because
but
we
he
have a lot of
still-
money.
I'm just saying, he should let us know why he's doing it and that he's doing it.
But
And
this-
where-
It's
what
just
level-
a simple email.
And,
He's done it.
yeah, and what level, let's try not to think of the personalities, because I totally believe he won't do anything.
I don't
Because he
either.
knows how touchy we are.
I don't
But
either,
but
has
if it was a
happened in the
different
past, you
person.
pointed it out.
Yeah.
Let one person speak, please.
No, if it was a different person, what would the right level be? I think that in case of emergency, it's just, because we don't define what an emergency is, it is kind of meaningless. So what level are we comfortable with? To give somebody you can spend this amount of money without our approval.
I don't know, just a blanket check just bothers me.
And I'm not disagreeing, but
So can the director come up with some sort of wording for that, do you think?
No, I think the person that you all hired to fill this role, you hopefully would have the trust in them when you hire them to be able to follow the rule there. I communicate with you all on what I'm doing, and I would hope that anyone following me would be the same with any future commission. So no, I don't know how to word that any better. I don't see the way it was originally worded as a problem. In the committee meeting, I agreed to a change because we wanted to have a change to it. But I don't know. I'll ask this question. Had Gino come to you guys and said, we're going to hire this guy for $47,000 a year, and then plus his load takes him up over $50,000, would you have accepted it at that point? He did it without coming to you, but had he, and I looked back exhaustively at minutes of meetings, I could find nowhere where that was ever really abused, other than that instance. So I don't know how, Commissioner Ford, that I would reword that other than the way it was originally worded, and then hope that that I have the trust of the commission to not do something based on my track record of being at least trying to be communicative on these things. So no, I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to define an emergency because, as you said, my definition of an emergency, payroll would be, if I can't make payroll, I have to hit the reserve, right?
I consider that an emergency too.
Right, and I don't know that any don't, but you could have a future commission make up that where one of them may not consider that an emergency. So I don't know that we can sit here and what if the future and everything. I think you have to deal with what you have now, and either I'm trusted to have the authority up to 50,000 or whatever number it is you guys feel that I should have.
and I don't think you should take this as any kind of a slur against you if anybody doesn't want to make it 50,000, because we're trying to, if it was somebody that was not you, which hopefully is not going to happen, if it was somebody
Is
other.
this pretty
Really, what's the
standard
best
community
rental?
stuff? Does the mayor have a blank check, or does he have some sort of, does the county commissioners? I don't know that, I don't know about the wording. I don't know, maybe we should ask our legal
The mayor,
price for that.
the mayor
I don't
and the city
understand.
council, don't they meet more than once a month? So, we're a board who meets once a month, and so he's here in the trenches dealing with stuff, and he is keeping us informed, and I would hope that whoever's in that place would keep us informed, but some of us don't read our emails every day. So if he needs board approval for something, unless he calls us on the phone, he's not going to get it in a relatively timely manner. He has to have the ability to go out and get the stuff to keep the pool open and
Well, then
running.
why even have that in there? He can basically, whatever he needs. He's the director. He makes the decisions.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
So move the whole line item.
Well, I would suggest that a possible course of action would be to leave it the way that it was. So it technically is not changed yet. It's changed in the document that we have in front of us.
Oh.
It's technically not changed unless we vote to change it, right? I know we don't have the original in front of us anymore, because I believe, sorry, I didn't look at this one, I had read it last month. So we don't see the
I think-
revision marking on this, but
I think the wording is the way that I said it with, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what it is what I said.
That's exactly what, I will make sure that it reads exactly what it has in there on the last approved bylaws, if that's what your vote is.
So let's retract the last.
Okay, I will withdraw my motion.
Second.
I move that we approve the bylaws as amended.
I just meant this here.
Oh,
executive director was the only change.
Yeah, that we approve the changes to the bylaws made by the bylaw committee with the change in title, the executive director only.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Actually, yes. Hey, we were talking about one thing, and
Yeah.
I guess I would like, perhaps I haven't done all of my due diligence here, but I wasn't really sure where else to bring it up. Well, I'm not sure whether it would be a media policy in terms of who on the board speaks to. This is just a topic for discussion. Either media policy, who is the designated representative to speak to the media, or perhaps a different way to put it would be support for board decisions. I think I would like to believe those things go without saying, but I also feel like maybe it would be smart for us to address that. And I think that in terms of duties of the board, I mean, we have a little meat in here, so where would it go? I'm not entirely sure. So I don't really know how to handle it, and it.
I know under the chair's position, under our direction, as you can say in here, it does not say nothing about the chair is the sole purpose of the media or refer to the chair, or it doesn't say anything about that. The only thing that did say anything was in the packet that I sent to everybody, the bulletin and stuff like that. There was some stuff in there where it's a good suggestion, you know, where that would be the chairman's position.
And so I guess the question would be, do we feel the need to formalize that in our bylaws, or do we feel the need to discuss it informally in another, I don't want to say forum because it would still be sitting at these tables, but do we feel the need to discuss that?
I don't think it should be in the bylaws. I thought when we had that little public thing presentation, it kind of pointed out that we probably shouldn't be individually talking to the press or to, if questions come up from the press or from anybody else, we refer them either to the director or to come to the board meeting. And then that's when those can be addressed, rather than each individual going out and expressing his opinion to the press. And I think that's just the ethical way of doing it.
And I'm going to sit there and say, as the chair, I know, even say if it was put into words, that is part of my position. As far as speaking for the board, it would only be if the board gave permission on that particular topic, that particular question. Other than that, I would speak the same as any other board member, refer them to here, or I would say as myself, as Commissioner One, whatever the heck, you can do that. Obviously, you still can talk to, the press and stuff like that, but I would say as my own opinion and make sure that it did not sit there and represent the board in any way. But under the same aspect, as whoever the media person is, needs to sit there and know that they cannot speak for the board completely unless they know the board agrees on that particular subject. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, that's fair.
Which would be answered if we basically said, any questions from the media needs to come directly to the board meeting.
Understood. Okay, fine with that.
Yeah.
Do-
Thanks for bringing it up. To go.
Do we want to put it in writing as a policy? Do we want it as part of the bylaws or just a separate policy? Because we have policies that aren't part of the bylaws.
As far as the bylaws, my personal feeling, I don't think so. To me, that should be more of a standing order type thing, that the board agrees upon certain things is more the way I would look at that.
The bylaws are media policy.
Media policy.
Okay.
Not the bylaws. Bylaws are hardcore written, stone, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. But as far as media policy, that should be in a standing orders
Okay.
type thing.
And I'm fine with, you know, I feel like there's a consensus, and so I would say, let's let it ride, you know, meaning I wanted to raise it and talk about it, and thank you for that, and I feel better about it, so thank you.
I would feel better if we actually wrote it out in some fashion, because not all of us are here tonight. Do you want me to do that? And then talk about it next month?
Yeah, let's put it on the
This is what
agenda.
we sort of thought about.
Let's put it on the agenda for next month for
Okay.
sure.
And so I'll come with a draft
So we want to
proposal.
withdraw the proposal again?
No.
Well,
No.
there wasn't a motion made on it.
That was just in the
It was
discussion.
Yeah, so the motion is not changed. The
So
motion.
would I plan on putting it into the bylaws?
No,
Oh,
Yeah.
I see, okay.
It'll be a separate,
Gotcha,
policy.
okay, all right. great.
because coming back to that, is there any other discussions upon the bylaws before we vote?
No, sir.
Okay, all in favor and signify by saying aye and changing the bylaws to the amendment as read for Commissioner Hawley, which was basically everything was good except for executive director was the only thing we were changing.
correct.
Aye.
I
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
unanimously approved.
unanimously approved at the members present. Thank you very much for that. Okay.
A little
actually-
point of order here. One thing that Commissioner Hoffmeyer had mentioned, and I actually didn't look this up, but was that it required 4 votes. Do you happen to know? Or, okay, I thought it was a simple majority.
It is for a resolution, because this is a resolution, it's unanimous of the quorum.
Okay.
If you only have a quorum and they vote unanimously, then
Then we're good. Okay.
it passes.
Just wanted to be sure we were,
Yes.
Good.
You're
Thank
in
you.
good standing.
thank you.
Okay, executive director evaluation. Okay. Everybody has a copy. And we'll get these signed here in just a minute. Okay, everybody has a copy of the executive director performance review.
Suggested.
Suggested, thank you.
Who wrote this up?
I didn't.
The executive director did. We
I
asked
stacked
him.
it with things that I knew I was okay with.
It's because you're such a great negotiator.
That's right. No, I wrote it up, I researched a ton of things on how to do with a director, executive director that works for a board.
Did you look at Fidalgo's?
No, I didn't, I
Thank
don't,
you.
frankly, I don't really care about Fidalgo, Commissioner. I really, other than certain things, I really don't care.
I don't
what
think
they
we
do.
need to reinvent the wheel all the time. Other people have done some work. We can get some learning.
I've just done some work, so I'm.
And in this case, we had one, but I personally, and I think thought it was awful.
It
So
was.
it was really difficult, I think, to even determine how, so what does all of this mean? I mean, it was really bad. And so the request was for him to find one that he thought was acceptable, and evidently he did more, he over-delivered. In my opinion, anyway.
And the thing is, I agree with you as far as the previous evaluation. I wasn't really fond of it either. And this here, I think, does relate a lot better than what we had before. And it's about the evaluation process and scheduling is what's on the agenda. So we need to also figure out the process, how we're going to do this, and scheduling. You know, are we going to make a special meeting for it? Are we going to do it under a regular meeting? So give everybody a few minutes to sit there and look this over.
Are we going to decide that today?
Because next month is his 6 months review. And I am going to take a 3-minute break.
I'll take one with you.
And make sure I do the pause correct this
Break
time.
at what time?
I was just
At
Oh, thank you.
7:33?
Yeah, 7:33.
Okay.
There we go. Meeting is called back to order. Yes. Okay. Also, you have the copy of the items that we said we would be looking at under his evaluation. It's a separate sheet of paper. Everybody should have it.
What's this? I'm sorry.
This is the item that we said in the 6 months that we would start looking at again to evaluate R2.
Oh, okay.
They were request, it was requested.
It was a request.
Compensation, and what we promised was that while we could not provide any of these things at all, that we would consider.
Look at them.
Yeah, we would consider whether we could, because some of them legally we didn't even know if we could. And so we were just making good on our commitment to do so.
Right. Thank you for phrasing it. And remember, tonight we're going to be looking at evaluation process. How are we going to do it? So
How about,
That's-
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the executive director recommended form for staff performance evaluations.
That's just mine.
Okay, for the executive director's performance
Performance review.
evaluation moving forward.
Second.
second, okay, motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the evaluation? Commissioner Holly?
I
No comment. Commissioner Ford?
think it's good.
Commissioner Shingleton?
I would just say, I think, while I know you did a lot of work, I would like for us to also take the time to just evaluate the bullet points. But in terms of the format, is really what I'm referring to. Sorry, just, right, so to the point, that we just evaluate ourselves, because it's really, anyway. Yes. That was it.
Okay, so a motion was made and seconded that we would approve the executive director performance review as we have it in front of us, as it was presented. All in favor, please signal by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Obviously, motion passes. Everybody was unanimous. Okay, that's one. And the other sheet, the incentive pay, was just discussed when we get ready to do the actual evaluation.
I think we
So
need
that's
to
just
talk over
information,
it again.
that's information for us to look at until we do the actual evaluation. Okay. Any other motions for the process of doing the evaluation?
Well, it's up to him whether he wants to do it in public or in executive.
It'd be
It should
private.
never be done in public. It was only requested by a previous director to prevent something from occurring.
Yes.
So it will be in private, under executive session.
And it'll be next month, right?
Well, it depends on when we want to schedule that.
Oh, are we?
I mean, it's going to be in May, obviously.
But are we gonna schedule a separate
I
instead
can
of?
schedule separate.
May I'm not going to make a motion, I'm actually just, well, I think we need to look at this in two parts, because I think one of the things that I believe we did, maybe less than excellent, last time, was we all kind of did our individual things.
And they got
then
turned
we-
in, yes.
Right, but there was really no cohesion. It was really, here's my opinion, here's my opinion, here's my opinion. I think we owe it to the executive director and to the district, while we may not all agree, at least to normalize numbers, at least to talk about, prioritize, or whatever the process we want to use internally, but to prioritize the feedback in terms of, you know, hey, I think that was a strength. That's funny. I don't think that was a strength. Well, 3 of us do. You know, whatever process we use. But I think it's actually 2 parts. Whether it takes place all at one time or not, I don't so much care. But one of them is for us to get together and discuss our feedback, and then the other one is for us to discuss that feedback with him.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
bit. Sorry, go ahead.
If I may, correct me if I'm wrong, how it happened last time was we met during regular session. We had these all filled out. We turned them in to Chairman Merrill. Chairman Merrill, and we're trying to remember exactly how, but the comments 1 through 5, he averaged, he added them up, and then he averaged them upon the five board members. And then that was the mark that was given for the final on each one. And then he wrote the comments that people wrote on the sheet. And it was positive or negative, but he wrote everybody's comments on there. If I remember correctly, that's how.
Did we get a copy of that? I don't remember
No.
ever seeing.
We did not
Okay.
get, but this, if I remember correctly, this is how he told us how he did that. So is that a good process we want to go with? Do we want to do something different?
I
Yeah.
didn't like that process. I personally didn't like it. So if the majority of the board decides that's what we want to go with, then I'm in the minority and I lose. But again, to me, there was a lack of cohesion with that. I'm completely unaware at what anyone else gave as feedback. And
When we met and
well, right, and we all had about 3 minutes to say what we
Yeah.
thought. I was really uncomfortable with that process because I don't think that it gave the weight or the value to what that activity should actually be.
well, my only comment is what change, what process, what should we do?
Right, and I thought I just said what I think. So, but I don't know how anybody else feels.
What I
Propose
understood
2
is,
separate meetings is what you're proposing. One meeting where we meet and we end it without the director and we discuss, we bring in our evaluations and we look at each other, we can look at each other, or I don't know whether it's supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be private. Somebody needs to collate it, obviously. And then we need to discuss it. And then we need to come to a unified feeling as to what the ratings are, put those down, and then have a separate meeting with the director and present those to him.
because sometimes people are hard graders. Sure. You know, and you think this person is really good, and then another person also thinks they're really good, but some people give A's and other people, well, I'm never going to give an A. A's are not what I give. I only give B's. So that's
And people have
where coming
agendas
together
in the
will.
past which have influenced the.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost. So are we going to get together? Are we going to fill these out and then get together and then vote on each one that we sit there and going to get grade where and give him? Because if we're voting for each grade, we cannot do that in private. That has to be in public. because
Actually, executive session, when you're talking about somebody's thing, that is one of the ones you can executive session for. I was just looking at that today for something else. Shoot, where'd I put them? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when you're talking about, here it is, executive session. Let's see, applicant, charges, contract, minimum price. Oh, to review the performance of a public employee, executive session, paragraph G.
Right,
So we're good.
but it's if we're giving marks, that's doing more than just reviewing, in my opinion.
It's,
Because we're voting on stuff, and I don't think we can do that.
We're not doing motions,
Yeah,
we're
we're-
coming, it's a
Unified
consensus, it's a ranking board, if you will.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
just happens to be for one person.
yeah, we're not making decisions, we're ranking a person.
Right.
I think that's a different thing.
We're just averaging out the various.
I think we'll come to a consensus and people will talk about it and everyone will be kind of like yeah, okay, and put in these comments, and, I think we're not necessarily voting, we're coming to a consensus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to review it. Which there's plenty of time.
Review what?
The process on this.
We don't-
on what you got. I understand, but I still, please.
When you say plenty of time, recall the next month's meeting.
Oh, I know that.
Really, it's 3 weeks away.
Believe me, I know it's coming up very quick.
Yeah, well,
And,
then we get 6 weeks.
Really?
because of Memorial Day and stuff like that, the next month is the meeting, that's a week earlier.
Oh, and that was because that's when I was gonna go, and now I'm probably not going to South Dakota. It's June. I know.
Let's get back to this here, though.
Okay.
Okay.
So, sorry, are you going to be out of town for a month?
Not in June. It'll probably be later in the year.
Okay. Well, so would it be fair, I know we're kind of taking a couple steps forward every single time, but I'd rather do this right. Does it make sense for us to, since it's only 3 weeks away, would there be any objection to giving all of this a bit more ponderance and then deciding on the process at the next meeting, or do we not want to wait?
Or do we want to meet in 2 weeks and sit there and discuss it, just sit there and see if we can reach it, go from there, and then
Well, because we haven't resolved the process yet.
No, we
So-
haven't.
So in terms of, we wouldn't be ready to talk about the content. And so what I was trying to suggest is that you seem to have concern about whether we're doing it the right way. And that's, I think everybody wants to be sure we're doing it the right way.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So I think I was just suggesting maybe everybody does the research they need to do offline, and then we come back and talk about it next month. Or we can agree on a provisional process, assuming that it's all on the up and up.
Would that be 3 meetings we're talking about eventually?
No, because what we can do is we can set a day that we're gonna do work on the review, and we say, we'll be in there talking, and we don't wanna talk that long, and so Kaz will be, hopefully on hold, or be telling, we'll be ready for you at this time, or whatever. And I would think that would work, if we do that in one day.
So at the next meeting,
Mr. Chair.
time?
Oh,
When?
we could, it's gonna, I see it taking about an hour. So do we wanna say we're gonna spend an hour of our regular meeting? And that's fine, of addressing this in executive session. Or do we wanna have a separate meeting?
2 or 3 hours now, we don't want to.
Yeah, I'm thinking it needs a separate meeting.
And that's what I was thinking, maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks from
To
now?
discuss, 2 weeks
Okay.
Make
to
a
discuss
proposal.
this.
Are we proposing basically that we meet in 2 weeks with our evaluations in hand and look at and compare them at that time?
No, 2 weeks to say how we're going to do it.
All right, so in 2 weeks, we can say how we're going to do it.
Because I'll have, just real quick, I'll have every time to look everything up, and I'll be good to go with it. And then at the next, real quick, which before you go, at the next regular meeting, we will sit there and schedule the time for us to do it.
So you actually are talking, and at the next regular meeting, we'll decide when we're going to meet to go over and collate
Right.
the things. So that'll be the second one. And then the third one will be the time we meet with the director. So we're talking about three meetings to do this. Okay, gotcha. I understand. I just want to clarify that.
2
Okay.
additional ones.
Right.
3 total.
Right, one word in it.
Okay, is everybody good? Or,
Director.
go ahead,
If I
please.
may, Mr. Chair, I see 2 ways to do it. You can do this as a special meeting with only one agenda, or you can do it as a working group, I think. So whenever you do the first one, when you talk about the process and all, it can be, the actual evaluation is, well, actually, you can, if you find out you can do it in an executive session, which I think you can, based on what you said, then it's all covered. But if not, you can go either a special meeting or you can turn that into a working group. Because you're allowed to have working groups where
Just the only thing is it working, we cannot make a decision, which we still can make the decision
Oh, right, okay, all right.
at a regular meeting. Well,
Okay, I thought I had something for you to help me there, but I guess sorry.
So none of these 3 meetings are gonna be public meetings.
no, next 2 weeks will be public
It'll
meeting.
be a public meeting,
Yeah.
okay.
Because then we're just
And the
discussing
regular
process.
meeting is a public
regular.
meeting.
Right.
And then when we do the evaluation, it would not be, and that would be the only
And
time.
then we'll use the record.
For that one, you would call a special meeting that would go right into executive session.
Correct.
Come out, adjourn.
Are you planning on doing that during our regular meeting? That second part, that second meeting for the executive session to collate these things?
No, it would be to discuss,
Because I think it really should be, all 3 of them should be at separate time, not during a regular meeting.
Well, the second one is we're just going to discuss, I thought, when we were going to do it.
yeah, thank you, that's what I was gonna say, our regular meeting would be when we're going to do it.
Right.
At this, the special meeting would be to discuss the process of how we're going to do it.
Actually, we could.
We
I
can
mean,
do them both at the same time.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the special meeting could discuss the process, so the process, the timeline, and the timeline,
Yes.
right? Which also
That's
includes
good.
have your inputs by this date. I mean, so I know we're making this more difficult than it needs to be, but we're trying to do it
Yeah.
right for the
Yeah.
first time in a really long time. So
It's
that's
important.
why it's painful.
It's
I'm
important.
confused.
Okay, so it won't be 3 meetings, it'll be 2.
Okay, and then so in the
Yeah.
first meeting, without the director, it's a non-public meeting, correct?
No, 2 weeks is a public meeting
Yeah.
when we're to discuss the process, how we're going to fill these out, grade them, mark them, whatever.
And when we're going to.
How we're gonna actually do the review. And then we would also exactly,
Pick the date.
when we're going to sit there and schedule, when we're going to do the review.
Without the director.
Well, you can be here if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, he can be here to discuss the process.
Yeah, but I'm talking about at that time. we're
The following one.
The following one is
would be
without the director, where we come in with these,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
collate the data, we average the numbers, or however we decide we're going to do it. And then the third meeting, again, would be a closed meeting.
Executive session.
For the final.
Executive
Yes.
session. So 2 executive sessions following this open meeting to discuss how we're going to do this.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So at the first, how we're gonna do it, should we have looked at this and come up with different wording if we want different wording in these bullets? I think it's
I think
perfect.
so.
You know that I do.
If we're still going to do, I mean, if we're going to be going with the process,
Yeah, we're
why
going with the
not? 'Cause
process.
Yeah.
That's part of the
That's
process.
Get
finalizing.
going, yeah.
Well,
I mean, like,
hold,
right?
And
whoa,
the nice
hold,
part
hold
is
it.
it'll give-
Stop. Back up. We made a motion tonight that we approved these.
Wait, the template, the format.
Yeah, she specifically
Oh.
said later that she didn't necessarily agree with the words.
I didn't say I disagreed, but
Yeah.
That's true.
it was the template.
That's, okay,
Yeah.
because that's not the way I took it, but if that's the way.
No,
it
because I went on and on about
Mhm.
that the content might change.
Okay. As long as we're all, good.
Because it's a totally different format from what we used before.
Okay, meeting time. 2 weeks from, I'd like to, if we can have a motion, 2 weeks from today, to meet on this not next Thursday, but the following Thursday,
The 12th.
the 12th at 6:30. Is that a good time for everybody, first of all?
Yep.
Acceptable.
And at 6:30 is our next meeting. I sort of, but I don't need that. That's what we're setting in place.
Yeah, I don't think you need a motion. when
No,
you're
because
just
I can
setting
set
it.
special meetings in place.
Yeah.
So, okay, Cass, good with you? Is that the second Thursday? I mean, the 12th, is that good for you as far as meeting in here for this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And that will be to discuss the process, finish off this, and finish off the process of how we're going to sit there and do the review, correct?
And that'll allow the member who's not here to review this. too.
Yeah. And that's where it's pretty close, I hope. Okay. Other unfinished business.
Clover Valley Dog Park. Sorry, I was.
Nope, that's fine.
I'm trying
I
to
was
list
looking
this.
right here. That's why I asked for those. But no, Clover Valley Dog Park priority list. And did we get anything? We haven't gotten anything on that from them, have we?
Sorry, no. Oh, no, I've received nothing from Mike or any of those guys yet. No.
Okay, and
You're talking about
I've
the
seen them
prioritized list?
and I failed to talk to them on priority list too, so.
So what, we're talking about the prioritized list?
Yeah.
I have not gotten anything from them.
So that's ongoing for next meeting. Goals, we already said is ongoing. Booster
No,
Club.
no, it's on here for a reason. Sorry, it's on here for a reason.
Oh, okay, so it's separate than what we talked about earlier.
Correct. Well, we haven't talked about anything that I'm aware of.
I had said that I didn't,
Oh, the action
The
item
correlation
for
of-
publishing them.
Yeah.
didn't I do that the day after the last meeting? I sent something out. I think it was, anyway, I have to look. I can't
Okay,
remember.
and you may have. I don't remember
Oh.
everything that I mean.
I
I don't
don't
look
either.
at these and
Yeah.
do checklists all the time.
Okay.
I do this once a month.
Oh, no, I hear that.
But the purpose of this being on here, and we can save it for next month if we want to, but I was going to suggest that there's really two things we kind of missed so far. One of them is, are we asking him to do anything with them?
That's true. Good point.
And number two is, how and when will we review that? And my suggestion would be in conjunction with our quarterly financial reviews.
Ooh,
Um,
that's good.
So we made a list and that's great, but what do we intend to do with it?
Mhm.
And if we want to save that, we can, or if we want to talk about it now, we can do that too.
Oh, we gotta, okay.
I think I did send it out the day after the last meeting. I think I
you
sent it
did,
out.
too.
So, but yeah, we have to, we came up with it and it was, we should do, it was mainly so that we could have something to focus on as we're making budget decisions. So I think that's a good idea. Is that something we need a motion on? Or is it something else we can just sort of like talk about?
Well, I guess, is there a consensus that would be okay to add it to the financial review? And if not, we can make a motion and vote on it.
I like that idea.
What's the motion?
It's not a motion, it was like, we were talking about doing that, and I don't know that it requires a motion.
Let's not have a motion.
Huh?
Yeah, can it not just come up with new business or whatever?
Well,
The quarterly goal, the quarterly financial review is when you're talking about us discussing them at that time,
that's
correct?
the suggestion, right? Yeah.
Discussing.
So.
Our goals, like
Remember the goal sheet that we filled out, that was all agreed on, that was all voted on,
We're
and
trying
these are the
we're
goals?
Trying to see if the budget sort of meets our goals, or our goals meet the budget. I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure.
here were the goals we set, and now let's look at the budget. So as we're going over the budget, we've got
Well,
the
I would
goals
think-
that we,
Yeah, I would think we just part of the regular quarterly budget review. I think you can just put those in there.
Okay, so we
Yes.
have a consensus, we could make a motion. but we
The
have a
quarterly
consensus.
reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, every month, quarterly would be better. Okay, Booster Club partner agreement did not meet.
Yeah, the meeting was canceled this month.
Right.
So do we have a target for that? And if not, do you need us to give you one? A target for when we'll actually have something,
So I need to talk, I don't even know what it is we need to have. They're the Boosters Club. I'm trying to talk to them what makes sense to even have. They don't work for us. The Boosters Club, that's independent. That's a 501c3.
100%.
It's totally separate from us. So I'm just trying to get with her to see, is there some sort of working agreement that we want to have that makes sense, but they don't have to do one. There's nothing that we can't make them do one.
Okay, I think, so part of, for me, where this came from, so there were a number of things, and I can look back and find them, but one of them was, our expected intention, and let's put it this way, no one ever disagreed with this, was that part of the benefit of having a booster club is it was going to help make the swim team whole. I realize they can't write us a check, but that was at least my understanding.
It's my understanding.
Okay. So in one form or another, that they would help, they would help fix the deficit that we have from that program. And if we don't feel that that's part of the objective, then I think that, I think we need to know that, because I think for some of us, it might actually change our perspective, not on the booster club itself, but on how we manage the program.
They're a 501c3. There are certain things by law they can't do. I don't know how. They just donated $3,000 worth of lane lines. They got another $300 or $400 worth of flags coming. So I think they've helped the pool and hole and the swim team as well. But that's a $3,000 that I don't have to worry about spending now.
It's us to decide in the budget how we're going to spend the money and how much each group needs to contribute, programs need to contribute. I thought you two guys were kind of looking at that and kind of just dipped them. You came up with some answers last month where we basically raised some prices, and certainly, like I pointed out before, we haven't had incremental raises in anything for years, and now suddenly we're having to make big catch-up price costs. And
Exactly.
so I think we need to continue that process, and I tend to agree that programs should, just like, even though you don't like the Fidalgos, they point out when they run their levy that programs pay for themselves. And I think programs should pay for themselves.
And I don't disagree with you on that in general. There are some programs that happen in here that won't, special needs swim, things like that. They'll never pay for themselves. But you won't. But I mean, in general, my goal is to have
Money still has to come from somewhere.
levy revenue covers maintenance, O&M, and some admin stuff, salaries and some things like that. And then the rest of them try to stand on their own.
Yeah.
So I mean,
We certainly need to decide whether the levy needs to pay for benefits for those who can't afford. And I'm not sure that was really worded when we talk about the maintenance and operation levy. I'm not sure that people really understand that, well, part of that is going to be some giving to, Yeah, again, I'm not sure we should be in the, I think basically we should be running the pool and not basically, we should have a separate system to provide for those who can't help themselves.
we already
Because,
have-
let's see, I mean, I think basically, let's see, how I wrote this down. 'Cause I got to thinking about this, but the funds to pay for decreasing payments to some for private lessons, pool access, swim team dues, etc., doesn't come from outside charity, commissioners, pool employees. It comes from either somebody else having a higher user fee, or it comes from a levy, from the levy. Wouldn't you say that? And so we need to keep that in mind. I don't know how, maybe we need to start listing charity as sort of a separate line item so we know how much charity we're giving, and if that's what we want, that's certainly, if that's what we want to do and that's what the public wants to do with the levy money, that's fine. But we should certainly let them know that that's what they're doing. Because I think charity is kind of a private thing, but that's all right. Anyway, so I understand what you're saying.
The one thing with the Booster Club, with everything that they purchase, that does offset stuff that we have to purchase. And what else they're planning on purchasing, I mean, I don't know. But you know, they are planning on doing different things.
But they might, yes, like the lane lines, they're lovely. But we probably would have gone for a while without buying new ones because we have to put the money into other things.
Yeah,
And
we don't have to worry about it.
I know we don't, but we do have to worry about the deficit of NWAC. And it's like that, now, I'm hearing now that it's like they can raise $50,000, but it's not gonna offset all the money that goes into NWAC. So you need to come up with the numbers then, since they tell me the swim season starts in September, maybe that's when we need to raise the NWAC fees and not wait for January
Well, I was
2017.
hoping that's what you guys were going to come up with.
No, oh, that's, you weren't on the board last year.
Yeah.
We raised them last year. Not as much as the committee recommended, and we knew that there was a deficit. But we said that that deficit would go away by January of 2017, and that the NWAC parents will pay every penny of NWAC fees, NWAC expenses,
And
by
again-
January of 2017.
And-
And we were told, oh, you can't change the rates in the middle of the year, in which case maybe we need to change those rates in September. I want you to think about that. What's the best thing? But that was the agreement, the understanding we had was the NWAC fees were all going to be paid by the NWAC members as of January 2017.
What fees aren't being paid by them? No, I'm not sure what you mean. What fees aren't being paid by them?
Okay, fees and expenses.
Well, they don't fully cover the coaching costs.
Yeah.
Their fees don't even probably pay less, maybe a little bit more than half percent of the coaching costs.
costs. Just like mine.
But,
No, but he's only there for NWAC.
yeah, exactly.
He doesn't do anything else. He's there for NWAC.
Coaching fee comes,
That's,
for Fidalgo comes from the swim team.
yeah.
Fidalgo's not owned by the pool. They're a privately owned swim team. They're not owned by the pool.
But their coach is paid through,
Through the swim team.
but that salary comes from the NWAC swim team, the whole salary, the total cost.
But it's a private team. This isn't a private team.
Well, then maybe it needs to be a private.
Well, that's a discussion that you guys can certainly have, but right now, the team is not a private team. It's funded by the district in part.
Right.
Well, it's owned by the district.
Huh?
Right, it's
It's
owned,
owned-
it's owned
it's
by the
owned
district.
by the
I mean, just to be,
district.
it's,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it's
Right.
owned by the district, so it's not a private team.
What are we talking
And
about?
then
right now? It's just like-
the morning classes that's done, isn't the co-chair for that, which isn't part of NWAC?
Coach is here for all NWAC activities.
I know,
Including
but-
Masters, swimmers.
But masters,
there.
thank you very
No,
much.
no, the masters are part of
Yeah,
that.
they're part of the program. and he's
They're
here-
part of the NWAC?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to have somebody pay for for part of my golfing coaching fees and get free access to the.
I just wanted to get clarification on that because I wasn't for sure about how masters fit in. So,
Do we want to put this on the agenda for next month to talk about? I mean, we had this
We
discussion
need
with
to
the
sit there
last
and-
board. Do we need to do it? Maybe we just need to have it again and make a decision.
we need to sit
That
there and
NWAC
talk.
needs to pay for itself, or we're willing for the taxpayers and the levy to pay for part of it. And that's something that is not on the agenda for us to discuss today, so we really, because it's such a touchy one,
Yeah,
we can't discuss it and make any decisions.
We can't make any
without-
decision.
Without
Exactly.
letting the public know, we're gonna talk about it again.
So under, would that be new business because
No, this is, I would say this unfinished
Still
business.
working on unfinished.
Because that was something that we talked about last year.
it would be new business though.
I think it still would be new business.
Okay, all right,
I mean-
all right.
So this will be under new business for next meeting to discuss.
But that's not covered under your little committee for
Program review.
program review.
We
That's-
see, the review committee already brought it up, we made decisions, and,
Yeah,
you know.
but I thought again, like you said, they said you agreed on the fee increase for last year, but
Yeah.
didn't say that we wouldn't be having another fee increase this year.
Correct.
And so that fee increase could be what's needed to balance the budget.
So we could just do it as the program committee can meet and we'll come with a recommendation.
Yeah, whatever it
Okay,
takes
we'll do
to
it that
balance
way.
the budget.
It'll be part
Well-
of one of the committee reports,
Yes,
okay? Which will still be, I mean, we'll still,
yeah, I mean.
it's on the, it'll be on the
It's gonna be a
agenda.
significant amount, yeah, I realize
Yeah.
that.
Well, the thing, all I'm saying is, just like with the bylaws revision, we still had it under unfinished business, even though it was a committee. So we still can put it under new business for NWAC
Right.
review.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
okay.
And that seems to be the protocol that we've started, so I would
Yeah.
say that makes sense to continue. So program review dash NWAC or whatever under new business, so that
Right.
it's clear.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. The next would be mission and vision.
And so I just wanted to give y'all an update. I was finally able to, so Kathy Coffey, the person who agreed to do this for us pro bono, I met with her, I think it was last week, maybe it was the week before, and just talked about the process and what we wanted. And she and I are just exchanging some information, and so kind of the outline would be, and we can decide when the best time for us is, and it might be over the summer, given that we have a lot of things coming up in May and whatever. But I just wanted to give you an update that I sent her our mission and vision, the old the pre-existing one, so just so she can see what it is and then she's going to send me some documentation, and basically what it would require of us is some pre-work that you kind of, these things are important to me, we all do it, and then we come together with her in a meeting that's probably 2 hours facilitated by her, that helps us boil down what should be our mission and vision. So, I mean, I think that's really, that's the sum of it. And so I won't worry yet about, until we have more tangible things, worry about scheduling a date or whatever, because we haven't had an updated one since 1982. I don't think we're in a huge rush.
So tomorrow we shouldn't have this.
Well, you go ahead and start working on it.
The only thing that I still would sit there and say with that, we do need to update it, that's for sure. But I would still like to sit there and how we can get the public involved.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And that's, so part of it is to then kind of start to flesh out the process. She's really busy right now. She had surgery, need more information than you need.
Sorry to hear
But-
that, but
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not, she doesn't want to do it right now,
Yeah,
in all
no,
honesty.
I think it's, she doesn't care, but I know she's really busy for the next probably month. And then there'll be maybe a little more time.
So June, July, August timeframe.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So
Good.
anyway, thank you. That was it.
That was the review. Unfinished business. Was that good, Wendy?
Yep, done.
Okay. Thanks for me to use that.
No problem.
Okay, is there any, there was no new business that I had, what?
Well, I don't know where to bring this in, because I was figuring I'd bring it into the business, but you all read my email about trying to encourage more pool users to take a shower before they get into the pool, and I thought I was gonna have a chance to discuss that. You said-
Yeah, we what I was saying was under board issues and stuff like that, but
Okay, whatever.
if you want to discuss it now, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I mean.
There's no disagreements with anybody, is there?
So, I mean, you all read the email. I'd like to, I don't know if the reporter can get access to the email, because I think it would be helpful if the paper would sort of help us to encourage more customers to take a shower before they enter the pool. It is a public health requirement. And as I pointed out, not taking showers increases problems with chloramines in the pool, which is what causes the chlorine smell, it's what causes the red eyes when people go swimming, it's what causes the problem with irritation and dry skin, respiratory problems. And so by getting more people to take showers, it would decrease the nitrogen load that goes into the pool and decrease the amount of of all those problems. And I know I've had people complain about the amount of the chlorine smell, and so that's one way they could do it. I'm going to get, I should be getting something from
CDC.
CDC, some brochures, and I'll give them to the director as soon as I get those, and then you guys can reorder them. Maybe we can sort of post things around different areas, like we have the little announcements in the bathrooms with different things. I forget what it's
Toilet
called.
Tattler.
Yeah.
Actually, we can put them in that and
And on the top of maybe the schedules, I noticed that Fidalgo puts on the top of their schedules and their fee schedule that showers are required before getting into the pool. They have that right on the top of those things. Even pointing out, the fact that getting your hair wet before getting in the shower will decrease the effects of the chlorine onto your hair. It doesn't turn as yellow or white, so it dries out. So it's going to be a slow process, but I think we should start working to encourage more people to shower, and maybe even develop some sort of system where, we've got the deck shower working now. If somebody comes walking in the door, and I've seen this happen, take off their clothes and jump in the pool, maybe the guards should be able to direct them, say, could you please take a shower before you get in the pool?
The guards have that authority, and they just don't do it.
They don't want to, because I've talked to them in the past, or talked to other people in the past, they don't want to be policemen, but they are policemen.
they are.
Yeah,
They are.
and at some pools, they do it.
Yes,
and
they do.
And at others, they just don't. And I've been in all kinds of different pools and had different, I thought it was pretty stringent here, because I always shower here, whereas other pools, I don't,
see
because I've been
noted
told.
less than half the people shower.
And you're
some of
wrong.
your staff have agreed with me, so
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know how to track it, but that wouldn't be too far off if you're off at all. So we addressed that already based on our discussion. And what I've asked Erica to do, and I've told the lifeguard, the guards that I see, the senior guards, and she's going to reiterate it with them. We'll add some of the advertising, posting it, reminding people, is for them to begin enforcing it more. Now, will they catch everyone? No, because they might be off doing something, but we agreed the more people we can get to, especially with the pool deck shower now fixed, a lot of people are happy about it, but we definitely are going to take the steps to get people to take the shower more, based on our last discussion.
Yeah, and I know the one comment that I have to make with that is if a commissioner seen somebody jump in there without taking a shower, that they let the executive director know. So he would address that with his employee on getting that situation fixed. That may be a lot quicker way.
There's only one commissioner that comes in here, so, and I would hope that Commissioner Fort would, if he sees something that looks blatantly overlooked.
Well, but I don't know that I should bring it up to you. I shouldn't bring it up to them.
No, they said to bring it up to him.
Yeah.
Bring it up to me.
And that's why
And then I'll go, hey,
Yeah,
make
but
sure
even
we're
then.
doing it. Because you're right, it's gonna take time. These guards, some of them aren't used to it. Some of them never probably been
Right.
told to do it. They just status quo is.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And if you're
So-
16 years old, do you want to tell someone that's the age of your grandmother, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
ma'am, you have to take a shower before you get in the pool to do your aerobics? It's like, no, they don't want to do that.
I'm going to pick on you, Commissioner Ford. Commissioner Ford, could you please take a shower? It's some 16-year-old.
He always does.
Which, I know, I believe me, I know he does because he mentioned it. But the thing about it is, even the lifeguards should know that when we're in here, as a patron or whatever, we're under the same rules as everybody else. We hold
They know.
no special thing.
They know, I've told them and I use Commissioner Ford as an example, when he's in here swimming, he's Richard Ford, he's not a commissioner. He has no authority, he has no, and I've told him, the only authority that the commission has is as a meeting and all the stuff that we learn. But I also put out at the department head meeting I had yesterday for Coach Taylor to start working on getting his swimmers.
Yes.
So his little kids that come in, who come down there. Some of them do, most of them don't. I'll just say that. And so I've asked him to start policing that better in the guards. If they're out on deck because there are patrons in there, well, they can help him police that more too.
Thank you.
So we will address it.
Right, it's gonna be a process.
Yeah. hopefully not that long, but it will.
Okay, let's move on to staff reports.
So,
Any questions for the executive director under staff reports?
yes.
Go ahead, please.
I noticed you said we're going to get the new chairlift in next week or next month or whatever.
Next month, when the,
Maybe, yeah.
yes.
I noticed that Anacortes Rotary and restaurants contributed recently to Fidalgo, to buying Fidalgos. So is there any way we can get the Rotary or other public entities to provide charity things for, they consider it a charity for, anyway, that's something to look into,
Right.
to decrease our
They
costs.
have in the past, years ago, the Rotary has done something here.
Okay.
But I think it was the,
Well, you might just bring up that sheriff's lift thing too. Okay. And let's see, what else did I have? I have something here. Director. Let's see. I guess that's all I really had for the director.
Okay, Commissioner Singleton.
But
Oh, go ahead.
I've got some other staff reports down the line.
It's
Me.
I got you. Okay.
it's not in this part, but thank you for also listing all of the folks who donated for April Fool's Day. It was nice to see, and I greatly appreciate that we obviously reached out to folks and that they responded in kind, and that was just it's again we're headed in the right road, and it was
they all
fantastic.
get a letter too.
Sure,
Good.
it was great to see. That was all from me.
Well, actually, I had one other thing that I forgot about. Yeah, the cattle guard, what's the benefit of that cattle guard? I still don't understand how that would benefit.
So the cable is
Cool.
easy to get around out there. A cattle guard is harder to get around because it's a big metal,
Yeah, but
It's a metal gate.
it's a metal gate.
Oh, it's not one of these things you drive over to keep
Oh,
cattle.
no, it's a metal
Oh.
gate. It's a metal
Okay. Okay.
Actually, if I said cattle guard, then that's a typo. It should have
Okay.
said cattle gate. I hope that's what
Okay,
it
I think you did say cattle guard. So that's what I was trying to figure out.
Fantastic. Like-
Keep the
I
cows
was
out.
picturing the gate and not the
That's
guard
what it's
because
for, yeah.
that wouldn't have made sense.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Phew.
Mr. Holly?
In maintenance, the main Strandtrol electronic chemical feeder, when do we think we might replace that?
All of these are waiting on us getting more levy money
Okay.
to start being done. So that would be when we.
Those are all things that are on hold,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
We had the lights, number 6, and pool tile and submerged lights, number 9. Are lights, like the
Lights-
hanging lights?
Two different lights,
Right,
yeah.
so when it says
Okay.
just lights, it's the overhead lights.
Okay.
The submerged lights are the pool lights.
Okay.
How about those two that we were given? That were supposed to be LEDs? Did we put them?
Yeah, they're in my office above my desk and they don't work.
Oh. Okay.
It's the ballast that has to be rewired
Okay.
to work with it.
Gotcha. So if we're talking maintenance,
No, I let Commissioner Holly finish.
Oh, I'm done, that was it.
That
well,
was-
I had
Okay,
maintenance
go.
issues, yeah. So I wanted to thank Matt because he gave me a personal tour
I heard,
of the facility.
I heard. Your
And,
lips have gotten.
and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot about what all these things, this Sedantrol thing is and where the leaks are. We actually went up on the roof and we went into the maintenance building and,
Oh, you went on the roof?
I didn't get to go on the
Oh,
roof.
But tell them more, Commissioner. What were you wearing when you went up there?
oh, my bathing suit. Well, Matt,
And it was cold. It was a windy day.
it was a little chilly in my flip-flops. So,
Yes.
yeah, anyway,
For
try
the
not.
police department wasn't cold.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if we want to get into flip-flops on the roof.
Anyway,
safety,
yeah, I
insurance.
know. I was probably thought about that time. I thought, well. So anyway, I'd like to thank Mac because I really learned a lot, and it gave me a better understanding of all these issues.
Okay, good.
So I just,
We'll be glad to take anyone up on the roof that wants to go up there.
yeah, let's see what else.
I want to see the leaks.
Come on in sometime. We'll arrange it for Matt to be here if it's during the middle of the day, and we'll make it happen for you.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see here. So yeah, that's probably all I had to do with Matt. Yeah, I got to talk to you something. I wanted to thank you sometime about your little presentation, but that's probably under different business. That'll probably come under final board comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that I want to sit there and say as far as with the staff reports and stuff like that, it was a lot of fun sitting there doing the cleanup and stuff when we all came out.
Good job.
There was I was really glad to see the sheds, the way they got cleaned up, and as far as the outside, Matt did a lot of work out there. I did some, but in all honesty, there's a lot that he did out there when he came up. My pressure washer messed up. I was trying to save us $60, but my pressure washer broke, and so we ended up spending $60 anyway. But anyway,
It was worth it.
I think it was a good thing that we did, and maybe something we need to look at a little bit further as far as twice a year. You know, we'll discuss all that later on. But you know, some of the ideas that you came up with was really good.
If I can address that real quick.
Go ahead.
Matt and I talked about that, and we actually like the plan of, you know, there's the pool shutdown for the 9-10 days in August, but as we reach the end of March, early April, as the weather starts to get where you can actually do something around here, we're considering like a Saturday, Sunday, close till noon, and do stuff from 7 to noon those days, or things that we want to do. It may only be one day, but something like that now becomes part of a regular schedule, so we can keep the place looking better around here. And what each year may not be the same thing, but
Right.
basically it helps us do some stuff outside of the building to make it appear better, and inside as well, and the shed, which I got to kill all the spiders.
Good job you did out there. No kidding.
It was fun.
And even walk on the patio out there. I mean, they did a fabulous job out there. And definitely tell, I can't remember his first name, but Mr. Jarvis and your son
Ray
Cole.
Mike Jarvis.
Mike Jarvis, tell your son, Cole, and Mike, definitely thanks from all of us up here.
Cole thought it would be an easy getting this.
It wasn't.
It wasn't easy. He worked.
And the last thing I have as far as with staff reports, employee of the month to be determined. Do we have somebody?
Yeah, Jessica was not. I thought
It's on there, but it's,
Yeah, so we will arrange a time for you to come out here. Well, the write-up's already done.
I was reading
And,
it. Thanks.
And so we will arrange a time for you to come out here and do the happy snap with her.
Sounds good. Let me know when, and I'll be more than happy to be here. And that's also open to any other board member. I'll be more than happy to send you emails when this happens, if y'all would like to show up. Okay, there is nobody here. Anything else with staff reports before we close that up? Okay, there's nobody here. There's no there was not an overflow. Final board comments. Commissioner Shingleton, let's start with you.
No, thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
So yeah, so I'd like to thank Cecil Pierce for the lot of work he did for that Northwest Park and Recreation District Commission guide. I find that very kind of helpful. And
Thank you.
Though I would take one question I had was on page 5, line 1,
I happen to have it here.
under our mission.
Huh.
And somewhere it says in there, I think, you know, it talks about, ends with basically programs for the citizens of Whidbey Island.
North Whidbey Park District.
It should probably be read for the citizens of North Whidbey Park District.
I think that's a good thing,
what does it say?
right here. The mission of the North Whidbey Park and Rec District is parks, facilities, and recreation programs for the citizens of Whidbey Island.
Yeah, that's-
The thing is that I'm going to change what I said because there is more people that come up. I mean, there's people that come from outside of our district that come up here, so it is.
Yeah, but the levy taxpayers probably don't want to be subsidizing them. They
And-
they need to be, that would come, something else needs to come up because they probably should be charged extra.
They are charged
They
extra.
are.
Well, not everyone. I'll guarantee you, and I've had other people tell me this, that not even when they buy the punch card, when they're supposed to check, do they ask for driver's license or proof of verification of citizenship in this.
Really?
Well, that's something we need to address with them.
That can be changed. But
So I still
they
think
are asked if they live in the district or out of district.
we're still, the levy payers are paying for the Northwest Park and Recreation District and not for the whole Whidbey Island.
I can go either, but
But did you make that up, or was that the actual current district mission?
that's not, all this here
Right.
is something that I threw together, and I stole from other places. I will admit, I stole from other places and had assistance from other
Because
people.
most other places are.
And threw all this here together.
Oh, and that's fine, but we actually have a mission.
Yeah.
So if we made one up, then we probably should
We could
reflect
put-
the one that is ours, even if we're going to change it. Because until we, as a board, we change it, it is what it is,
Yeah.
right?
The thing is, and you brought something up, what I would like,
Why couldn't somebody come up and say, well, I'm with the island, why do I have to pay more?
well, what I want to sit there and say is something that we can modify to this here, because to me, this is a book that's given to new commissioners and stuff like that, just to give an idea on several things. But when we come up with a mission statement and bylaws, that they would be part of this. So, you know, I'm more than happy to change it, because this is nothing in stone, you know.
Right, but what I'm
But
saying
that
is
is something
if-
we can look definitely when we get that.
Well, we have one. We do have one. So I think my point is if you put it in a book that says North Woodby Park and Rec District on it, and it says it's
Oh,
our
I
mission,
gotcha. I
that's not
gotcha.
our mission.
No,
If you wrote it, that's not our mission.
No.
We have one.
yeah.
I'm just, like it or not, obviously I don't like it, which is why I'm trying
Maybe we
to
should
change
just
it.
Make it better, yeah, but no, we
Yeah,
can put that in there. I'm fine with that.
Altogether, then.
Right, well, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll change that, but under the same aspect, I'm not gonna send it back out to everybody.
No.
But I'm good with that, most definitely.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome. Like I said, I had a lot of help with that. But, and it was something I was looking for as a commissioner. You know,
Agreed.
some kind of guidance, and I'm still unsure of a lot of stuff as a commissioner. You know,
I think it's
I'm still
great.
trying to figure it out. Okay. Do you have anything else?
I have nothing.
You have nothing? Couple things that I do want to sit there and say is, the biggest thing I try and do, and I know I get hot-headed, say stuff at times, probably I shouldn't and crap like that. But under the same aspect, I want us all to sit there and reach a decision. I want us all to sit there and have a good discussions, and I want us all to sit there and make this a better place. And the number one thing I want, and I think we all want the same thing, but I'm going to speak for myself, is a positive outlook. You know, with the press, you know, with the stuff that comes out, with the public, because we do have a levy coming up next year. And the more positive we are here with everything, I think it's going to be easier to pass the levy. And by no means am I saying the levy is going to be easy to pass, because it's not. You know, anytime you start talking about taking money out of somebody's pocket to pay for something, people are kind of reluctant. And I read in here where it talked about some other park and recreation districts within Washington State. And then there were some meetings and stuff like that. I'm going to try and go to some just to get some different ideas, but under the same aspect, if you as commissioners, if y'all are ever in a different area where a place is talking like Tukwila sit there and listen to our minutes over how to hire a director down there. You know, if you're ever at another place where there is a meeting and stuff, go in there and see what they're doing. You know, because I'm sure there's a whole lot better stuff that we could be doing here. Me included, but no. But yeah, there's a lot of information out there that we can get from
They
everybody.
already addressed some of the issues that were
Exactly.
brand new.
It's a good idea.
But again, I appreciate working with everybody, and I'm going to try and always stay positive. It's always going to be my number one goal, is to be positive. Even if I'm in disagreement, I'm still going to try and stay positive always. And with that, that's all I've got.
If I may,
Please.
two quick points. I know it's not part of There's a swim meet that starts tomorrow.
Okay.
Here, it's one of our 2 home ones. It's a short meet. It's a long course meet, but it starts tomorrow. So if any of you wish to come out and sort of cheer them on, that would be nice. If you're not already otherwise occupied with Holland Happening, it wasn't intended to be scheduled with Holland Happening, but the schedule that they had when Coach put this one together had Holland happening next weekend. So it was an error on that one, but that's only based
Was
off.
it, in the past, wasn't it, our swim meet was during Holland Happening?
I know.
I thought that was the thing they were talking about last year, that's,
Yeah, I know. I'll have to plead the 5th on that one. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't
I would say
know.
no, because typically the district, typically the district is in the parade, which usually includes
Oh.
mostly NWAC kids. I mean, there are other people.
Okay, never
but
mind.
anyway,
It's usually in
Yeah.
my kids. So the last thing I have is, for those that didn't know yesterday or didn't glean out of it yesterday, Erica will be leaving at the end of June. She's taken another position over in Walla Walla, doing the same thing for the YMCA over there. So I will be filling an interim role there, and I will be evaluating what the best course forward is on how to when and how to fill that position. So I'm just letting you know, if you didn't know that Erica will be leaving, and she'll be, from my perspective, she'll be missed. So
well, she's the
Is-
only WSI person on the
she's the only
island?
IT instructor,
Or-
trainer person
yeah.
here, except for there's a guy in Bellingham, Jason up in Bellingham.
that's-
But outside of that, that's pretty much it until maybe Portland.
Yeah, that's kind of,
So without her, we
Problem.
can't do Red Cross training.
No, without her, I can't train instructors here unless I bring an instructor in or we send them
I see.
somewhere.
she trains the instructors.
The instructors.
Yeah.
So a WSI person can train Red Cross life instructors.
Well, they're LGIs, lifeguard instructors, which she just had a
Oh.
bunch of. Now, they can train lifeguards,
Okay.
but they can't train the people that train lifeguards.
Gotcha.
So that's where it ends up. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that it was official.
So June is our last date?
End of June.
End of June.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all my.
No kidding. Okay, that finishes board comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion pass, or nays? None. Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned at,
8:38.
thank you.
I wonder, do you really need to say, are there, anyone opposed if every